In the midst of a tempestuous night, our tale unfolds in a secluded seaside cabin nestled on a soft, sandy beach. The protagonist, John, a middle-aged writer with a contemplative demeanor and a love for solitude, seeks refuge from the bustling world in this tranquil haven. His face, marked with the gentle lines of time and thought, reflects a life spent in the pursuit of stories and the quiet appreciation of nature. The cabin, a creation of natural wood with a rustic, unpretentious charm, stands resilient against the storm. John, feeling a deep connection to this simple abode, settles into a cozy armchair by the window. The room, bathed in the soft glow of an antique lamp, reveals walls adorned with modest artwork, each piece telling a silent story of its own. The mingling scents of aged wood and salt water fill the air, an ode to the cabin's long-standing battle with the elements. Outside, the night is alive with the sounds of the ocean. Raindrops dance upon the roof and windows, a rhythmic and soothing melody that lulls John into a state of peaceful reflection. Each droplet leaves a transient trail on the glass, a fleeting glimpse into the storm's heart. The wind, a wild conductor, orchestrates the trees surrounding the cabin, their leaves rustling like whispered secrets. Through the large window, John observes the storm's mastery over the sea. The waves, illuminated by sporadic flashes of distant lightning, crash against the shore in a powerful display of nature's force. The beach, usually a place of leisure and laughter, now lies deserted, embraced by the night's embrace and the rain's caress. The sand, drenched by the downpour, glistens under the occasional moonlight, painting a picture of a world transformed by the storm. John's gaze shifts to the small garden beside the cabin. The plants, usually vibrant and full of life, now bow under the weight of the rain. Each leaf and flower, adorned with sparkling droplets, adds to the garden's enchanting beauty. A lone tree stands sentinel at the garden's edge, its branches swaying in the wind, a testament to resilience in the face of the relentless storm. Inside, the cabin offers a stark contrast to the wild outdoors. The warmth of the fireplace, a gentle giant in this small abode, casts a comforting glow across the room. John feels a sense of contentment, surrounded by the familiar creaks and groans of the wooden structure. Each sound, a story of the cabin's enduring strength. The fireplace crackles softly, a symphony of warmth and light, its flames dancing to the rhythm of the rain. John, enveloped in this cocoon of serenity, feels a profound connection to the storm outside. The chaos of the world seems distant, as if held at bay by the cabin's sturdy walls. In this moment, he finds a rare peace, a reminder of life's simple pleasures and the soothing embrace of nature. The storm outside rages on, but within the cabin, time stands still. John, a solitary figure in this dance of elements, is reminded of the beauty of simplicity and the power of nature's lullaby. In this quiet seaside cabin, he finds more than just shelter from the storm. He discovers a sanctuary for his soul, a place to reconnect with himself and the world around him. The storm continued to rage outside, a symphony of nature's raw power. John, still nestled in his armchair, turned his gaze towards the raging sea, now a canvas for the tumultuous weather. The moon, hidden behind thick clouds, occasionally broke through, casting a ghostly silver light over the churning waters. It was as if the moon and the sea were engaged in a timeless dance, each trying to outshine the other. The waves, emboldened by the storm, crashed against the shore with renewed vigor. Each wave seemed to carry a message, a whisper from the depths of the ocean. John, captivated by this display, found himself reciting lines from an old poem he once read. The waves, relentless in their course, speak of journeys far and unseen, a tale of ancient mariners and moonlit serenades. This poetic imagery brought a new perspective to the scene unfolding before him. As he gazed out, the wind howled like a wandering spirit, weaving through the trees and around the cabin. The rain, now a torrential downpour, beat against the windows with a rhythm that seemed to mirror the heartbeat of the earth. Each droplet resonated with the energy of the storm, leaving streaks of water that glistened in the fleeting moonlight. The scene outside was a mesmerizing blend of chaos and beauty, a testament to the unpredictable nature of the sea. John's thoughts wandered to the creatures of the deep, the unseen inhabitants of the ocean's vast expanse. He imagined them swimming beneath the waves, indifferent to the storm above, their world untouched by the turmoil on the surface. In his mind's eye, he pictured a solitary dolphin gracefully gliding through the water, its sleek body cutting through the waves with ease, a symbol of freedom and grace amidst the chaos. The cabin, though shielded from the storm's full fury, resonated with the sound of the sea. The wooden floorboards creaked gently, as if in conversation with the wind and waves outside. The fireplace, still crackling, provided a steady warmth that contrasted with the coolness of the sea breeze seeping through the cracks in the windows. This juxtaposition of warmth and cold created a unique atmosphere, both comforting and exhilarating. John felt a profound sense of awe as he witnessed the power of the storm. The sea, in its untamed glory, was both terrifying and beautiful. He reflected on the countless stories and legends born from the ocean's depths. Tales of mythical creatures, lost ships, and hidden treasures. The sea was a muse to poets, a mystery to explorers, and a sanctuary to those seeking solace from the world. As the night progressed, the storm showed no signs of abating. The relentless waves continued their assault on the shore, each crash a reminder of the sea's indomitable spirit. John, lost in thought, felt a deep connection to this natural spectacle. The sea, in all its fury and beauty, was a mirror to his own soul, a reflection of the tumultuous yet mesmerizing journey of life. In this moment, John realized the true beauty of the storm. It was not just a display of nature's might, but a reminder of the delicate balance between chaos and harmony. The sea, with its endless waves and unfathomable depths, was a symbol of life's endless possibilities and the ever-present dance between order and disorder. As the storm continued its dance outside, John, nestled in the warmth of his cabin, found his thoughts adrift in a sea of memories. The relentless sound of the rain and the rhythmic crash of the waves became a backdrop to his reveries, transporting him back to the summers of his youth. He recalled the sunlit days spent on a different beach, far from the tempestuous shores he now watched. Those were days of golden sunlight and clear blue skies, where the ocean was a canvas of tranquility, not the tumultuous entity it was tonight. He remembered running along the shore, his feet sinking into the warm sand, leaving a trail of footprints that were soon washed away by the gentle tide. In his mind's eye, John saw himself as a young boy, building sandcastles with his siblings. They would gather wet sand, shaping and molding it into grand fortresses and towers, decorated with shells and seaweed. Their laughter would mingle with the cries of the seagulls overhead, creating a symphony of joy and carefree bliss. His mother would be nearby, her sun hat tilted against the summer sun, her smile as warm as the rays that danced upon the water. The memories shifted to evenings spent around a bonfire, the flames flickering against the night sky. His family and friends would gather, roasting marshmallows and telling stories. The stars would twinkle above, like distant lighthouses guiding imaginary ships across the sky. The smell of the ocean, mixed with the smoky scent of the fire, was a fragrance that John remembered fondly. John's thoughts then wandered to the fishing trips with his father. They would wake up before dawn, the sky still a canvas of stars, and set out in their small boat. The sea at sunrise was a spectacle of colors, with hues of pink and orange painting the horizon. His father would teach him the art of patience as they waited for the fish to bite, their lines disappearing into the deep blue water. The thrill of catching a fish was always a moment of triumph, followed by his father's proud smile. He also reminisced about the quiet afternoons spent reading by the sea. He would find a secluded spot where the only sounds were the waves whispering to the shore and the occasional cry of a seabird. Lost in the pages of adventure novels, John would travel to distant lands, fight dragons, and discover hidden treasures, all while the sun gently warmed his back and the sea breeze played with his hair. The memories were vivid, each one a cherished moment from a time when life seemed simpler and happiness was found in the smallest of things. The beach had always been a place of wonder and discovery for John, a sanctuary where he could lose himself in play and imagination. As the storm outside raged on, these memories were like a beacon of light in the darkness, a reminder of sunny days and starlit nights. The sound of the rain against the cabin roof became a soothing lullaby, blending with the echoes of his past. The wind, howling and fierce, seemed to carry voices from those long ago summer days, calling him back to a time of innocence and wonder. John's heart swelled with a sense of nostalgia and gratitude. These memories, so vivid and alive, were a testament to the joyous moments of his life. They were reminders of the love and laughter that had shaped him, the adventures that had fueled his imagination, and the serene beauty of nature that had always been his refuge. The cabin, with its warm fire and creaking floorboards, felt like a time capsule, a bridge between the past and the present. As the night deepened and the storm showed no sign of ceasing, John felt enveloped in a cocoon of warmth and memories. The world outside was a maelstrom of wind and rain, but inside, he was adrift in a sea of golden memories, each wave a reminder of the joyful days of yesteryear. In this solitary night, amidst the fury of the storm, John found comfort in the past. The memories were a balm to his soul, a gentle reminder that even in the wildest storms, there are moments of peace and beauty to be found. And as he sat there, lost in his thoughts, the storm outside seemed to soften, as if in reverence to the power of cherished memories and the enduring spirit of nostalgia. As the storm continued its relentless serenade outside, John tended to the fireplace, adding more wood to the crackling flames. The fire, with its lively dance and warm hues, cast a comforting glow around the cabin. The shadows played along the walls, creating a soothing, flickering spectacle. John watched the flames, their movement a mesmerizing display of nature's simple yet profound beauty. The cabin, now filled with the scent of burning wood, felt even cozier against the backdrop of the storm. John appreciated the stark contrast between the wild chaos outside and the peaceful sanctuary he had created inside. The warm and inviting space he sat in was a reflection of his current life, tranquil, content, and grounded. John's present life was a far cry from the bustling city he once called home. He had traded the constant noise, the never-ending rush of people, and the glaring city lights for the soothing sounds of nature and the soft glow of the fireplace. His days were now filled with writing, reading, and long walks along the beach. He found joy in simple pleasures: the smell of the ocean, the sound of the seagulls, and the feel of sand beneath his feet. In this serene setting, John had found a new rhythm to his life. Mornings were spent in quiet contemplation, often accompanied by a steaming cup of coffee as he gazed out at the sea. Afternoons were for writing, pouring his thoughts and stories onto paper, inspired by the natural beauty surrounding him. Evenings were his time for relaxation, perhaps with a good book, or listening to classical music, letting the melodies fill the cabin. The storm outside seemed to echo the former chaos of his city life. But here, in his seaside retreat, John found a profound sense of peace. The crackling fire was a testament to his decision to embrace a simpler life, one that allowed him to connect with nature and his own inner thoughts. His cabin, once a mere weekend getaway, had become his permanent residence, a place where he could live authentically. The walls were lined with bookshelves filled with literature and memoirs, each book a journey into another world or another mind. The furniture was simple yet comfortable, chosen not for style, but for the comfort it provided. Every item in the cabin had its place and purpose, much like the elements of his life now. The kitchen, small and functional, was where he experimented with cooking, discovering the joys of creating meals from fresh, local ingredients. The garden outside, visible from the kitchen window, was a project of love, a space where he grew vegetables and herbs, connecting with the earth and the cycle of life. As he sat by the fire, John's eyes were drawn to the photographs on the mantelpiece. They were snapshots of his journey, pictures of family, friends, and significant moments in his life. Each photograph was a reminder of where he had been and the path he had chosen. They were symbols of his evolution, from a life filled with external demands to one of internal fulfillment. The fire continued to burn brightly, its warmth permeating the cabin. The sound of the logs crackling and the sight of the flames provided a sense of calm and stability. John felt a deep appreciation for the present, for the quietude and simplicity that his life had become. The storm outside, with its howling winds and torrential rain, seemed almost a distant memory, overshadowed by the tranquility and warmth of his seaside home. In this peaceful night, surrounded by the elements of his new life, John felt a profound connection to the world around him. The fire, with its lively dance, was a reminder of the vibrant spirit within him, a spirit that thrived in this environment of peace and simplicity. As the night deepened and the fire's glow filled the cabin, John felt enveloped in a sense of contentment and gratitude. testament to the life he had consciously chosen, a life of serenity by the sea. As the night deepened and the storm outside continued its melodic rage, John prepared for bed. The warmth of the cabin contrasted with the cool, damp air that seeped in from outside. He climbed into his bed, nestling into the soft, welcoming blankets. The rhythmic sound of rain against the roof and the distant, muffled roar of the ocean waves created a natural lullaby, easing him toward sleep. Lying in bed, John's mind began to drift, not towards sleep, but towards the future. The sound of the rain and waves served as a canvas for his thoughts. Each droplet a potential idea, every wave a possibility. He envisioned his life continuing in this serene setting, each day a blend of writing, nature, and introspection. In his mind's eye, John saw himself finishing his novel, a work inspired by the very elements that surrounded him. He imagined holding the finished book in his hands, feeling a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment. The novel, a story set against the backdrop of the sea, would be a testament to his love for this place and the peace it had brought him. John also dreamed of sharing his seaside sanctuary with others. He pictured hosting small writing retreats where like-minded individuals could come and find inspiration in the tranquility of the beach and the rhythm of the sea. He saw himself as a guide, helping others to find their voice and tell their stories, just as he had found his. Another vision that came to John was the idea of expanding his garden. He imagined it flourishing with a variety of plants, vegetables, and flowers, becoming a haven for local wildlife. The garden would be a place of growth and learning, where he could spend hours tending to the plants and connecting with nature. John also contemplated the possibility of exploring more of the coastline, taking long walks to discover hidden coves and beaches. He thought of the sunrises and sunsets he had yet to witness, each one a unique display of nature's artistry. He dreamed of sitting on a cliff, pen and notebook in hand, capturing the essence of these moments in words. The idea of community involvement crossed his mind as well. John imagined becoming more connected with the local town, perhaps participating in conservation efforts or helping to organize beach cleanups. He saw himself as a part of the community, contributing to the preservation and appreciation of the beautiful environment he called home. As John lay in bed, enveloped by the sound of the rain and the ocean, his heart swelled with hope and anticipation for the future. He felt a deep connection to this place, a sense of belonging that he had never experienced before. The possibilities seemed endless, each one more exciting and fulfilling than the last. The gentle sound of the rain and the rhythmic crashing of the waves slowly lulled John into a peaceful slumber. His last thoughts before drifting off were of gratitude for the life he had chosen and excitement for the adventures that lay ahead. The future, like the ocean outside his window, was vast and full of mystery, and John looked forward to exploring every wave and every possibility that came his way. As he fell asleep, the storm outside seemed to soften, as if in harmony with John's dreams, guiding him into a night of restful and hopeful dreams. In the heart of a serene night, where the sky wore a cloak of soft, velvety darkness, a gentle rain began to weave its symphony. It wasn't just rain. It was a celestial artist at work, each drop a delicate brushstroke on the vast canvas of the night. The sound of rain against the window pane played a melody of tranquility, a symphony composed by nature, serene and unassuming. The droplets, cascading in a rhythm, formed a harmonious lullaby, blending with the distant whisper of the wind. This was a night that beckoned for peace, inviting the weary and the restless to partake in its silent, soothing serenade. Within this enchanting backdrop, your personal haven awaited. Imagine a room, your room, where every detail resonated with comfort and warmth. The bed, nestled in the heart of this room, beckoned with its soft, inviting embrace. Blankets, plush and tender, lay in gentle folds, offering a cocoon of warmth. Each thread seemed to weave a promise of rest and relaxation. The pillow, a soft cloud under your head, cradled each thought and smoothed away the creases of the day's worries. The walls, bathed in the soft, silvery glow of the moonlight filtering through the curtains, held a comforting embrace. This was not just a room. It was a realm of comfort, a sanctuary where every element conspired to bring you peace and ease. Now, focus on the symphony playing outside your window. The rain, no longer just a background noise, became a central piece in this night's composition. Each droplet struck the glass in a unique tone, creating a melody that was both random and rhythmically perfect. Listen to how the raindrops varied in their tempo. Some in a hurried pitter-patter, others in a slow, lingering drip. The sound was hypnotic, a natural music that resonated with the deepest parts of your soul. This melody was more than sound. It was a tactile experience, as if each droplet was tapping gently on the window, reaching out to soothe your thoughts. The rain's music was complemented by the subtle undertones of the night, the distant rustling of leaves, the occasional whisper of the wind, and the soft, muted sounds of the world at rest. This orchestra of natural sounds played a lullaby, designed not by man, but by the night itself. It was as if the universe was singing a lullaby just for you, a song to calm your mind, relax your body, and invite you into the comforting arms of sleep. In this moment, Let your imagination and your senses fully embrace the night. Feel the comforting warmth of your bed. Hear the soothing symphony of the rain and allow yourself to drift, float, and gently descend into the most peaceful and restful sleep you've ever known. This night, with its gentle rain and its soft embrace, is yours. Let it take you on a journey of tranquility, a journey that begins with a single raindrop and ends in the sweet embrace of sleep. As the tranquility of the night deepened, your room began to transform, a metamorphosis guided by the whispers of your imagination. At first, it was subtle. A small sprout emerged from the wooden floor, tender and green. You watched, fascinated, as more sprouts appeared, unfurling into tiny leaves and slender stems. The walls of your room seemed to fade, replaced by the growing foliage. The sprouts matured into saplings, then swiftly into a canopy of towering trees. Your bed, once a familiar haven, now rested on the sturdy platform of a wooden treehouse, nestled high among the branches. Above you, the roof of the treehouse was alive with the gentle drumming of raindrops. Each drop created a unique, resonant sound as it met the leaves and wood, forming an organic symphony that resonated through the structure. The rain's tempo slowed, its intensity waning, until only a soft pattering remained, like the delicate touch of nature's fingers playing upon a leafy drum. As the rain ceased, the world outside your treehouse window awakened with renewed vigor. The air was fresh and vibrant, filled with the rich, earthy scent of the rainforest after a shower. It was a fragrance composed of wet soil, lush foliage, and the faint, sweet aroma of distant flowers. The mist that rose from the damp earth wove through the trees, creating a mystical atmosphere that beckoned you to look closer. Through the clearing mist, the rainforest revealed its inhabitants. Tiny droplets clung to the leaves like sparkling jewels, reflecting the first light of dawn. Insects ventured out, their iridescent wings catching the light as they danced among the dew-laden foliage. Butterflies, their wings painted with vibrant hues, fluttered gracefully, celebrating the end of the rain. High in the trees, birds began their morning chorus, each song a testament to the rainforest's vitality. Beneath the treehouse, the forest floor was a tapestry of life. Ferns uncurled their fronds, reaching for the light. Flowers, their petals still dotted with raindrops, opened slowly, revealing their vivid colors. Small creatures, hidden during the downpour, now emerged. Frogs, their skin glistening, hopped among the leaves, while a cautious deer peered through the underbrush, its coat damp but untroubled. As you looked out from your treehouse, the rainforest was a living, breathing world, each element in perfect harmony. The sound of dripping water from the leaves created a soothing rhythm, a natural lullaby that spoke of growth, renewal, and the endless cycle of nature. In this dreamlike rainforest, you were a silent observer, witnessing the magic of the world awakening after the rain. Each detail a brushstroke in this masterpiece of tranquility and rejuvenation. As the day progressed, the sky above the rainforest began to shift. Dark clouds, like great ships of the air, sailed in, casting their vast shadows over the canopy. The rain, which had paused, now returned with renewed purpose. It fell in steady, heavy drops, each one contributing to the symphony of the forest. The sound of rain filled the air, a constant drumming that was both powerful and soothing. As the rain intensified, small rivulets formed on the forest floor, tracing pathways through the rich, damp earth. These streams converged, growing into a flowing river that meandered through the underbrush. Imagine yourself as a leaf, detached and free, embarking on a journey downstream. You, the leaf, are carried by the gentle currents, gliding over rocks and twigs, dancing around the obstacles in your path. The stream's journey is a dance of light and shadow as you pass under the overhanging leaves and through sunlit clearings. The raindrops create ripples around you, each one a tiny echo of the world above. The sounds of the forest mix with the water's journey, the distant call of birds, the rustle of animals in the underbrush, and the ever-present whisper of the rain. As you continue to drift, the stream picks up speed, guided by the slope of the land. Ahead, the sound of rushing water grows louder, signaling the approach of a waterfall. With a sense of exhilarating freedom, you plunge over the edge. The world turns into a blur of spray and sound as you descend, the roar of the waterfall enveloping you. Then, as swiftly as it began, the descent ends. You find yourself floating peacefully on the surface of a vast lake. The rain has eased, now just a gentle patter on the water's surface. The lake, nestled in the heart of the rainforest, reflects the clearing sky above. The tumultuous journey down the stream and over the waterfall has led to this moment of tranquility. As you, the leaf, drift on the calm waters, the wind and the remnants of the rain gently push you across the lake. The sounds of the forest return to a quiet harmony. The ripples from the raindrops create a delicate pattern on the water, a natural artwork that is ever changing. The lake is a mirror to the sky, reflecting the passing clouds and the first glimpses of stars as night begins to fall. In this peaceful setting, everything seems to pause, embracing the quiet after the storm. The lake, the forest, and the sky above are in perfect harmony, a serene tableau that invites you to let go of all thoughts and simply be. Here, on this tranquil lake, you find rest, floating on the gentle embrace of water, surrounded by the soothing sounds of nature, slowly drifting into a deep and peaceful sleep. After a time of serene stillness on the lake, a gentle breeze began to stir. It was a whisper of the world beyond, a call to continue the journey. You, still as the leaf, felt the tender touch of the wind, nudging you towards the edge of the lake. The leaf, your vessel, drifted with purpose, guided by the currents of the breeze and water. The stream that fed the lake now became your new path. It was a narrow, meandering waterway, bordered by lush banks, where wildflowers bloomed in a riot of colors and grasses swayed in the rhythm of the wind. The air here was fresh, imbued with the scent of greenery and the earthy aroma of damp soil, a fragrance that spoke of life and growth. As you traveled along the stream, the landscape gradually changed. The dense foliage gave way to a more open vista, where the sky stretched wide and the sun cast its golden light over the water. The scent of the air transformed too, now carrying a hint of salt, a whisper of the vast ocean that lay ahead. Finally, the stream met the sea, and your journey took an awe-inspiring turn. The leaf, once confined to the gentle embrace of the lake and stream, now found itself in the vast expanse of the ocean. The water here was a deeper blue, reflecting the vastness of the sky above. The scent of the sea was powerful and invigorating, filled with the tang of salt and the crispness of the wind. You witnessed the rhythmic dance of the tides, a never-ending cycle of ebb and flow. Each wave was a force of nature, powerful yet playful, as it nudged the leaf towards the shore and then pulled it back to the embrace of the ocean. The sensation of the waves was exhilarating, a dance of water that lifted and lowered you with each passing swell. The beach that met the waves was a canvas of fine, golden sand, warm and inviting. Here, the leaf would touch the land briefly, feeling the heat of the sand before being swept back into the sea. The contrast between the warm beach and the cool ocean water created a symphony of sensations, a reminder of the diverse beauty of nature. Above, seagulls soared, their cries blending with the sound of the waves, adding another layer to the ocean's symphony. The sky was a panorama of changing colors, from the deep blues of midday to the fiery hues of sunset, painting the horizon in a spectacle of light. As the sun began its descent, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, a little girl approached the shoreline. Her steps were light and joyful, echoing her cheerful laughter that danced in the evening air. She wore a simple dress that fluttered in the gentle sea breeze, and around her waist hung a small bamboo basket filled with treasures she had collected throughout the day. In her basket lay an assortment of fascinating items: smooth stones, shimmering seashells, spiral conchs, and an array of peculiar plants like driftwood and seaweed, each with its own unique story. The little girl's eyes sparkled with curiosity and wonder as she scanned the beach for more additions to her collection. As she neared the water's edge, her gaze fell upon the leaf. You, still gently bobbing on the water's surface. She reached out with a gentle hand, lifting you from the sea and holding you up to the light. The setting sun cast a warm glow through the leaf, highlighting the intricate network of veins. With a delighted smile, she carefully placed the leaf in her basket, securing it among her other finds. Her journey back home was a symphony of sights and sounds. The sea whispered its farewells. The sand crunched softly under her feet, and the distant calls of seabirds faded into the evening. The path led her to a quaint wooden cottage perched at the edge of the sea, a cozy dwelling that seemed to embrace the ocean's vastness. Inside, the aroma of a home-cooked meal filled the air. The little girl's mother, a kind-faced woman with gentle eyes, was busy preparing dinner. The kitchen was a warm haven, with pots and pans clanging softly, and the sizzle of cooking filling the space. The girl, brimming with excitement, shared her day's adventures, her voice bubbling with joy as she displayed her gathered treasures. The mother listened with a tender smile, her hands skillfully moving as she cooked. She marveled at the leaf, noting its journey from a tranquil lake, down a stream, over a waterfall, and finally to the sea, only to find its way into her daughter's loving hands. Her voice was soothing, a melody of love and warmth that enveloped the room. Dinner was served amidst laughter and stories. The small wooden table was adorned with simple yet delicious dishes, each prepared with care and affection. The little girl's tales of the day added magic to the meal, making each bite taste even better. As the night deepened, the cottage grew quiet. The fireplace crackled with a comforting rhythm, casting a warm, flickering light across the room. The leaf, now a part of this humble abode, lay nestled in the bamboo basket, witnessing the beautiful simplicity of this family's life. The little girl, now sleepy from the day's adventures, was tucked into bed by her mother. The soft lull of her mother's lullaby carried through the cottage, a soothing melody that promised dreams filled with wonder and joy. You, the leaf, were part of this peaceful scene. The gentle sound of the fire, the distant lull of the sea, and the warmth of the cottage lulled you into a state of deep relaxation. As the fire's glow dimmed and the stars twinkled outside the window, you drifted into a peaceful sleep, embraced by the love and tranquility of the little wooden cottage by the sea. In this dream, you were no longer just a leaf on a journey, but a cherished part of a story, a memory held dear in the heart of a little girl and her mother. In the quaint town of Willowdale, where cobblestone streets meandered through rows of ancient timber houses, a gentle rain began to fall. It was the kind of rain that whispered secrets, soft and persistent, cloaking the world in a hush of serenity. The townsfolk of Willowdale, a community steeped in tradition and mystery, welcomed the rain like an old friend, each droplet a melody to their routine lives. For Eleanor, the young proprietor of the bookshop, rainy days held a special allure. She cherished the rhythm of raindrops drumming against the windows, creating a melody that brought a sense of calm and introspection. On this particular rainy day, Eleanor sat by her favorite window seat, leafing through an old tome of legends. One story, in particular, caught her attention, a tale about a mysterious woman known as the songstress of the lake. It was said that her voice had the power to heal weary souls, offering comfort and hope to those who heard her sing. On rainy days, her melody was believed to resonate through the forest, guiding and uplifting the lost. This tale captivated Eleanor's heart. She always believed that behind every legend lies a kernel of truth. Driven by curiosity, she decided to embark on a quest to uncover the truth of this fable. Closing her bookshop for the day, she donned her emerald green raincoat, a symbol of her adventurous spirit, and set out to find the elusive songstress. As the rain grew heavier, Eleanor's steps were undeterred. She traversed the wet streets, making her way to the edge of the ancient forest bordering Willowdale. A sense of adventure and longing for the unknown propelled her forward, eager to discover if the mystical songstress truly existed, and whether her voice held the miraculous power as the legends claimed. As the rain cascaded down, a growing sense of wonder and anticipation swelled in Eleanor's heart. She packed a small backpack with essentials, a notebook and pen for jotting down her thoughts, a map of the town and its outskirts, some snacks, and water. Aware of the potential challenges she might face venturing into the forest, her curiosity and desire for exploration urged her on. Leaving the cobblestone streets behind, Eleanor headed towards the forest that bordered the edge of Willowdale. The rain made the paths muddy and slick, adding a sense of adventure to her journey. The forest was a place of ancient mystery, reputed to hold many secrets yet to be discovered. Stepping into the forest, Eleanor immediately felt an extraordinary ambience. The trees were tall and dense, their canopies interlocking to create a massive natural barrier. Even during the day, the forest seemed dimly lit under their shade. The sound of raindrops gently falling on the leaves created a soothing rhythm, as if guiding her deeper into this realm of mystery. Following a winding path, Eleanor's mind was filled with curiosity about the songstress. She pondered who this woman might be, what her voice sounded like, and why she chose to sing in the depths of the forest. As she ventured deeper, Eleanor began to feel as though she had entered another world, a world filled with magic and wonder. It was then that Eleanor started to hear faint sounds, different from the rain or the rustling of leaves, a soft, melodious tune. She realized this might be the song she had been seeking. Quickening her pace, she followed the melody, hoping to find its source. As she drew closer to the sound, Eleanor arrived at a hidden lake nestled deep within the forest. The lake shimmered under the rain, and by its edge stood a figure in a flowing gown, her hair gently swaying in the breeze. Her voice was clear and warm, seemingly able to touch the listener's soul directly. Eleanor knew she had found the legendary songstress of the lake. As Eleanor approached, the songstress ceased her singing and turned to greet her. Her eyes held a depth that spoke of ancient wisdom and untold stories. In her presence, Eleanor felt an overwhelming sense of peace and wonder. "I heard your song," Eleanor began, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's even more beautiful than the legends say." The songstress smiled, a gesture that seemed to brighten the gloomy surroundings. "You have journeyed far to find me. What is it that you seek?" Eleanor hesitated. She had come seeking answers, yet now, in the presence of the songstress, her questions seemed trivial. "I wanted to know if the stories were true, to hear the song that healed hearts and soothed souls." "The songs are as true as the heart that seeks them," the songstress replied. "Each person hears what they need to hear, what their soul yearns for." With a gentle touch upon the water's surface, the lake began to swirl, forming a vortex. To Eleanor's amazement, she felt no fear, only a mysterious force guiding her. Clutching the songstress's hand, they both dove into the center of the whirlpool. As they descended, the world around Eleanor blurred, time and space losing their meaning. When they reached the lake's bottom, she found herself in an otherworldly realm. Instead of the crushing weight of water, she breathed easily, as if on land. The bottom of the lake was a place of dazzling beauty, surrounded by luminous plants and peculiar creatures. It was a spectacle beyond her wildest dreams, with colorful corals, floating jellyfish aglow, and small huts adorned with pearls and gemstones. Eleanor marveled at this hidden, fantastical kingdom beneath the water. The songstress led her through a forest of glowing seaweed to a palace made of transparent crystal. Inside, harmonious music filled the air, inhabited by various aquatic beings living in peaceful coexistence, each with their own unique story. In this magical world, Eleanor experienced wonders beyond belief. She communicated with a school of talking dolphins who showed her how to converse with the ocean through music. She witnessed a dance performed by seaweed, each strand gracefully moving in rhythm with the melody. What astonished Eleanor the most was her ability to understand the language of these marine creatures. The songstress explained that music and love are universal languages. In this mystical underwater world, Eleanor didn't just discover fantastical sights. She learned the true power of love and music. Deep within the crystal palace, beneath the surface of the lake, Eleanor's adventure took an even more fantastical turn. As she wandered the glowing corridors, her eyes wide with wonder, the songstress led her to the heart of the palace, a chamber radiating an ethereal light. In this chamber, Eleanor witnessed a sight that took her breath away. Hovering in the center was a large, luminescent orb, pulsating with a gentle light that seemed to be in sync with the heartbeat of the lake itself. The songstress explained that this orb was the source of the lake's magic, an ancient crystal that had been there since time immemorial, holding the memories and songs of the past. As Eleanor reached out to touch the orb, a surge of energy flowed through her. Visions of the lake's history flashed before her eyes. Ancient civilizations that once dwelled by the lake, mythical creatures that had roamed these lands, and the countless melodies that had echoed across the waters. She felt a deep connection to everything the lake had witnessed, an overwhelming sense of unity with nature and its timeless stories. The songstress then revealed to Eleanor that the lake was a gateway to other realms, a nexus of sorts where different worlds and times could converge. This revelation astounded Eleanor, who had always believed her world to be bound by the limits of her small town and its surroundings. Their journey continued through the palace, where Eleanor encountered various beings, some human-like, others completely alien. Each being she met shared their own melody, adding to the symphony of the lake. Eleanor realized that the lake was not just a body of water, but a living entity, a keeper of universal harmonies. As they explored further, the songstress guided Eleanor to a room filled with water that reflected the stars above, despite being under the lake. This was the observatory, a place where one could gaze upon the cosmos and listen to the celestial music of distant galaxies. In the observatory, Eleanor experienced a profound moment of clarity. She understood that her journey to the lake was not just a quest for answers about a legend, but a journey into the depths of her own soul. She saw her reflection in the starlit water, not just as an individual, but as a part of a vast, interconnected universe. The The songstress, sensing Eleanor's realization, smiled knowingly. The lake is a mirror, reflecting not only the world above, but also the depths within us all. You have come far, Eleanor, not just in distance, but in understanding. Eleanor and the songstress, now emerging from the observatory, continued to traverse the enchanting corridors of the Crystal Palace. Eleanor's mind was ablaze with the revelations and wonders she had witnessed. The palace seemed alive, its walls pulsing with the same rhythm as the glowing orb in the heart of the lake. Their next destination was the Hall of Echoes, a grand chamber where the voices of the lake's past inhabitants resonated. The hall was adorned with intricate murals depicting the lake's history from its creation to the present day. As they walked through, Eleanor heard whispers of ancient languages and songs, each telling a different story of the lake's legacy. In the center of the hall stood a magnificent harp, its strings shimmering with an ethereal light. The songstress approached the harp and began to play. The music that filled the chamber was unlike anything Eleanor had ever heard. It was as if the harp was not merely an instrument, but a living entity, singing the soul of the lake. Eleanor, moved by the beauty of the melody, felt a deep urge to join in. Encouraged by the songstress, she began to hum a tune. To her surprise, her voice merged seamlessly with the song of the harp, creating a harmony that reverberated throughout the chamber. It was a moment of pure magic, a union of human and nature in a symphony of sound. After the song ended, the songstress spoke. Every creature, every ripple in the water, every breeze that crosses this lake contributes to its song. Today, you have become part of its symphony. As they left the Hall of Echoes, Eleanor felt a profound sense of connection to the lake and its history. She realized that her journey had not only been a physical one, but also a journey through the depths of time and memory. Their final stop was the Chamber of Reflection, a tranquil space where the waters of the lake formed a clear, still mirror. Here, the songstress encouraged Eleanor to look into the water and see her true self, unburdened by doubt or fear. Gazing into the mirror, Eleanor saw not just her reflection, but also glimpses of her past and potential futures. It was a powerful moment of introspection, where she understood that her experiences at the lake were not an end, but a beginning of a lifelong journey of discovery and growth. As Eleanor emerged from the lake, the world above seemed transformed. The sky was a canvas of vibrant colors, painting a new dawn over Willowdale. She stepped onto the shore, feeling the earth solid and real beneath her feet. Yet her heart was still echoing with the melodies of the lake. walking back to her bookshop, whispers of the pages. Eleanor contemplated the profound changes within her. The town, with its familiar cobblestone streets and quaint houses, looked the same, but Eleanor saw it through new eyes. She carried with her an inner light, a deeper understanding of the mysteries that lay beyond the surface of everyday life. As she opened the doors to her bookshop, the familiar scent of old books and the sight of shelves lined with stories welcomed her. But now she saw her collection not just as books, but as gateways to infinite worlds, each with its own tales and truths. Determined to share her newfound wisdom, Eleanor decided to transform a section of her bookshop into a space for storytelling and music. She wanted to create an oasis where the people of Willowdale could gather, share stories, and perhaps even discover their own connections to the wider universe. Word of Eleanor's transformation and her new venture spread through the town. Curiosity piqued, the townsfolk began to visit her bookshop, drawn by the enchanting music and captivating tales Eleanor shared. Her stories of the lake and its magical realm opened their minds to wonders they had never imagined. In this new chapter of her life, Eleanor found joy in being a bridge between the mystical world she had discovered and the community she loved. She realized that her journey to the lake was not just about discovering its secrets, but also about bringing back its gifts to share with others. One evening, as she closed her bookshop, Eleanor gazed up at the stars, feeling a deep sense of connection with the cosmos. She knew that her adventure was just one of many yet to come, and the melody of the lake would always be a part of her, a gentle reminder of the magic that exists in the world, waiting to be discovered. In Willowdale, life went on, but it was touched with a new sense of wonder and possibility. Eleanor's journey had changed not only her, but also the heart of the town, infusing it with a newfound appreciation for the magic in the mundane.